Hey, well, what have I been up to? I can tell you almost immediately. I've been going through months of mental anguish. Uh, I've been going through like a tough time during 2020 and 2021, and you start to wonder. Well, once it affects you, you start wondering, what do I know? What do I really know? And then I start reconsidering what I consider to be impossible because well, there are multiple reasons for that in my case, but anyway, I am back now. I have come through it, and that is a good thing. Uh, I was reading my friend Lindsay's book, Earth a Trough in Time, and I was reading what she had written in the book, and I was like, she gets it. She's the one person who seems to get it, at least that I know of. Um, I would highly recommend watching her podcast Rogueways. I tune in occasionally. It's actually pretty cool. Anyway, so yeah, uh, I've been spending a lot of time writing. If you want to stick around, I can tell you a bit about some of my works in progress. So, of course, I've been writing this B movie book, which is finally coming to fruition. Uh, and while I was working on this one section about Ray Harryhausen in the movie It Came From Beneath the Sea, I got inspired to do this story about Ray Harryhausen working on It Came From Beneath the Sea. And like as he's like hired to do this giant octopus picture, he's finding out there's like CIA and KGB money flowing through this picture. And anyway, right now I'm having both the spooks and the mafiosos, and anyway, they're just scaring the hell out of Ray right now. Okay, any other works in progress? I am pretty close to finishing up my initial draft of Pirates of the Solar Seas. It's a pretty good one. Um, anyway, I've got a lot of stories I still need to write. I've got a lot of stories I've been writing. It's very therapeutic for me writing these stories. Um, Hopefully one day you guys will get to read them. Okay, I kind of like movies. I think you've figured that out. But I've been going through my film collection and I noticed like there's one movie that is like it stands out from all the others I have, and that is Tron, the original Tron. I mean, the sequel doesn't even it doesn't even remotely compare to the original Tron. Like that movie is unique. It will always remain unique, I think. No other movie I know of looks like that movie, and that is because of the time it was made. It was 1982. The computer graphics back then weren't as advanced as they are now. And anyway, neither were computers, but yeah, Steven Lisberger, he had this new animation technique using light, and he created this character using the light animation technique called Tron. While he was shopping the character around Hollywood, he wound up at Disney, who, due to the death of Walt Disney, were kind of directionless for a while, and they were willing to take a risk. What a shocker! Like a studio taking a risk. Anyway, yeah, that wouldn't happen in today's Hollywood. But the point is, we got Tron out of it, and they were willing to take a risk on Tron. And so Steven Lisberger made the movie, and he did use his light animation, as well as computer animation, and traditional animation, and live action, and it's an awesome movie. It is like the Citizen Kane of computer generated uh, video game movies, actually. Just the Citizen Kane of video game movies. Not a very high mountain to climb, but still, it's firmly cemented at the top. It's a trippy movie. Like, I'll be honest, like when I was little, I didn't fully understand what was going on. I saw Jeff Bridges like sucked into the computer, and like there were a couple of other people there. I thought those were his friends or whatever. And then I'm watching Ram D. Rez, and I'm kind of horrified as a kid because I just saw like a human being sucked into this computer and just dies in the middle of the server. Like that's like a horrifying imagery to a kid to see, and I didn't understand that RAM was a program. Okay. Anyway, um, enough of Tron scarring me as a child. uh, yeah. Mm. I just think it's a very cool movie, and if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth checking out. Um, I'm not sure if like the story is like the most epic story you'll ever see, but the visuals and the story it has to tell is pretty good, pretty quality, in my opinion. Um, yeah, so that's Tron. Um, I've kind of been watching some older comedies. There's like Jim Carrey movies. I've kind of rewatched Batman Forever. Now, here's the thing about Batman Forever, it's kind of a horrible Batman movie. It's a great Jim Carrey movie. It's a really great Jim Carrey movie, which is why I guess we just don't like it because we usually see it as a Batman movie instead of a great Jim Carrey movie. And God, I love Jim Carrey. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved Jim Carrey. I I first took notice of him on In Living Color. He was like the token white guy on there, and he's one of the funniest people on In Living Color. In fact, like Jennifer Lopez got her start on In Living Color, she was a fly girl. Anyway, the point is, like, Jim Carrey was freaking hilarious, and he made his jump into movies with Ace Ventura, which is still a classic. And then he went on to The Mask, and at that point I was like, I love this guy. He is so freaking funny. Anyway, so went on from The Mask, probably did stuff like Dumb and Dumber, and then finally wound up as the new Frank Gorshin replacement, the Riddler, Edward Nygma. And yeah, it's anyway, enough about my fan gushing over Jim Carrey. I just think the guy's a genius, and I hate the fact he doesn't get to do much of what he can do these days. Sucks. Oh no, I guess maybe I should have seen Mr. Popper's Penguins, but I didn't feel like it. Does anybody know if Mr. Popper's Penguins is good? Never mind. Freaking Jim Carrey and a bunch of penguins. Um, okay, well, that's a sentence I wasn't expecting to say during this live stream. Okay, hmm. I just recently saw Godzilla vs. Kong, and yeah, I thought it was decent. It's actually pretty good. Um, it's obviously not the most intelligent monster movie ever made, but it gets the job done. Somebody said like the script seemed like it was written by a 10-year-old, and it's like for Godzilla vs. Kong, I'd expect nothing less. Okay. During the end battle between Godzilla and Kong, there's like this whole freaking free for all in the city that lasts all night and pretty much up until the morning or midday. And like after they're done thoroughly trashing and thrashing Hong Kong, like they're leaving and like it's all heroic, and I'm like, how many millions of people just died? Anyway, so yeah, I've been reading a bunch, obviously. I've been reading Sandman. I am up to volume 6 of Sandman right now. Uh, I'm starting to see what people see in Neil Gaiman, so yeah. Uh, Interestingly enough, I think that the volumes I find most enjoyable is where Morpheus goes to hell. Like, those just seem to be the most interesting volumes to me. And I don't know whether that's like. I think that's because of the interaction between Morpheus and the Morning Star. Like, they have really good chemistry. Like there's a lot of tension between them, and yeah, I love the art. And this like is obviously set in the same universe as Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. There are several references to Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, so I'm finding this to be a very good companion piece. Obviously, like Alan Moore took Swamp Thing, the Z-list character, and turned him into one of the best comics in the medium. And Neil Gaiman managed to do the same thing with Sandman. He took this Z-list character and turned him into something epic in the field of comics. And, good for you, Neil. Absolutely. Apparently, like, he won a fantasy award for Sandman at a fancy to do fantasy book award uh, ceremony or festival. I don't care. It's an award ceremony. Screw it. The other thing is, like, they changed the rules to make sure comic books couldn't win again, which is funny. It's the same thing that happened at the Academy Awards. Like, it was 1991. There weren't many good movies in 1991, or at least not good enough to be considered for an Academy Award back when they meant something. And, yeah, like, the movie that almost won the Best Picture award in 1991 was Beauty and the Beast. And obviously, I just think it should have won Best Picture in 1991. But the point is, it almost won, and that threatened Hollywood. So they made a rule, like a new category, Best Animated Picture. And they relegated the animated pictures to Best Animated Picture, so it could never happen again that an animated picture almost got Best Picture. And that's part of the reason why I stopped watching the Oscars. Okay. No, I think it was around 2005, I believe. I just said, I'm done. Yeah. I stopped watching the Oscars in 2005. Obviously, I've cut the cord on, like, my television cable. Like, I've been learning a lot about pirates lately. I've been really obsessed with pirates. I really have been. I've been writing books upon books about pirates, or at least outlining them, doing first drafts, whatever you want to call them. The point is, I've been writing about pirates like crazy, and like I've been learning, about Jack Rackham, Anne Boney, Charles Vane, freaking Edward Thatch, Benjamin Hornigold. Like, there's all these freaking pirates, and they're so interesting, so fascinating as historical characters. And there's this show that has them. There's also, like, in the show Black Sails I've been watching. Essentially, I think the real stars are Captain Flint and his cook John Silver. They provide a lot of the focus on the narrative. Yeah. Point is, like, I think it's a 4-season prequel to Treasure Island, and it's a really good series, which is surprising because it has Michael Bay as an executive producer, which, good for Michael Bay, absolutely. I was reading this article online that there's this little toy model structure of a skeleton climbing a mast towards a flag, and they use that as one of the final images in the opening trailer, and they used it as marketing promotional imagery and the cover for season 2. And nobody knows who made that model. Nobody knows who made that toy. That's funny, one of those mysteries of film. Anyway, so, like, Black Sails is actually a really good show. I'm really digging it, and all the actors are really good in it. I guess, like, if I have any criticisms, like, this has more to do with me than to do with the show. Like, it's actually Anne Boney. Nothing against the actress. She's a decent actress. She does fine in the role. I do like her in that role. She gives, like, a different portrait of what I was expecting. And like this also isn't anything to do with the producers, the showrunners, the directors, much less the casting director. This is just personal. But for Anne Bonny, I think they made a serious miscasting decision. Uh, I mean, don't get me wrong. As I said, I like the actress in the role, but she was clearly miscast, and this is more personal on my side. But the thing is, well, I know they didn't want to go the sexy female pirate route that's so stereotypical, but the point is, I know Anne Bonny's descendant, and if there is any family resemblance at all, they made a serious mistake by not casting a sexy female pirate in the role. No offense to the actress, I do like your take, but anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the rest of the series as well. Just, I don't know your name yet. Going to try and learn it. Um, anyway, yeah, so that's my thing of Black Sails. Definitely a lot of pirating. Not Disney pirating, but there's definitely pirating. Yeah. Um, so, what else have I been watching? You know, I just finished all of the Walt Disney Zorro again. I've been watching the first two seasons, then I watched the 4 hour long movies, and I just finished earlier tonight The Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, which, yeah, Anthony Hopkins and a great deal many others, which are very talented actors and actresses. Sorry. I don't know what's going on with my voice. Excuse me. So yeah, I've been discovering there's a lot of really cool stuff on YouTube just to watch. Like I'm kind of lamenting the fact that YouTube is turning more into television. On the other hand, I like being able to watch certain television shows on YouTube. Obviously, like there's like if you want to watch the Walt Disney Zorro TV show, it is on YouTube. You can watch all the episodes, which is cool. Like even some of them on YouTube are in color, which is awesome. Like I was able to afford the entire show, but I was not able to also afford it in color, which, you know, now the prices for the color series are absolutely ridiculous. I'm not paying that. So anyway, there's also Wishbone, you know, the reading dog. Like that's a great show. I loved that as a kid. I've been rewatching certain episodes. Yeah, so Wishbone is on here. There's the Ray Harryhausen movie, Jason and the Argonauts. You can find Douglas Fairbanks movies like The Mark of Zorro and Robin Hood. And there's just a lot. I mean, like there's a few Bud Abbott and Lou Costello movies on here I've noticed. Like YouTube is great, you know. Still, I do feel like they go a bit overboard in certain areas of censorship, and I certainly hope they don't take it out on me when I say something offensive. I usually don't mean to say something offensive, I really don't, but it just slips out. But, yeah, that's going into a whole range of issues that's probably left for another video, which is in my channel, by the way. But, yeah, so you know, here's the thing, like when you're doubting your own intelligence, doubting what you do know and what you don't know, it really makes you hard to come back to the camera and like try to explain things that you're not even sure if you know or not. It just really messes with your head, like shaking your confidence in your own intelligence. It sucks. And I'm trying to get out of it, of course. You know, I'm trying to rebuild myself, but, you know, just kind of melting down in a way mentally. And, just, getting better. I am. Thing is, I realize, well, most people think that I'm a genius, and I guess on some level, maybe. The thing is, I have to remember among, like, my family, like, there are a number of geniuses in my own family, and I have to remember, like, I'm among the lower rung of the genius class of my family. Uh, it's not really falling for the Dunning-Kruger effect. I know I'm not stupid, but I know exactly where I am in terms of my smartness, my intelligence. See, these stupid words like smartness. Anyway, enough bragging about my intelligence and my emotional and intellectual breakdown for a few months. Let's continue on, shall we? Um, so I've been watching a lot of Alfred Hitchcock lately, and Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, and I find that they're actually eerily similar, like, in terms of how they operate. Like, you're probably wondering, how does the guy who directed Psycho have anything in common with the guys who were running away and scared out of their wits from Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and Dracula? Well, I'll tell you. You see, with Alfred Hitchcock, he came from the silent era all the way up to around the 60s, I believe. And unlike modern directors today, like James Wan, or like maybe older directors like Sam Raimi, you know, John Carpenter, that class, they were allowed to go all the way. They could go all the way with their horror. Hitchcock came from an era that was much more strict with censorship. He couldn't go all the way. So the thing is, he had to find the fear button. And he found the fear button, and he knew exactly when to press it. And the same thing with Abbott and Costello. You see, they came from the burlesque comedy routine days. And burlesque comedy was rather dirty, but Abbott and Lou Costello were not dirty. They actually cleaned up their act and made it a clean comedy act for the whole family. But the thing is, they were lightning in a bottle, and like they practiced their action, they perfected their technique to the point they found the humor button. They found the humor button, and they abused the hell out of it. So yeah, I'd say in terms of finding the core button to press, yeah, Bud Abbott, Lou Costello, and Alfred Hitchcock are pretty much the same. uh, yeah, so let's see. I've been playing video games lately. I played more video games than I have in a long while. Like, I don't know, I've been playing racing games like Burnout Paradise, Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer, you know. Um, I've been playing video games like Star Wars The Force Awakens. I've been playing video games like Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I've been playing video games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It's just been great, you know. And yeah, getting back into gaming a bit more. I've definitely been working. I've been working hard. At least that's what people say. Though to be fair, I feel like I could be working harder. But I don't know. Maybe I should be applying myself a bit more. On the other hand, I don't want to experience a complete burnout and crash again. Like, okay. Let's just see this for a second. Like, so, yeah. So just checking things, just checking some technical things. I'm really hoping that you can hear me in terms of my voice right now. And I did not mute myself for the whole video. Learning curve. Anyway, I have so many stories I could tell you, but a lot of them I can't tell you, and a lot of the other stories you wouldn't believe me. So it really limits what I can talk to you guys about, because there's so many amazing things I could talk to you guys about. But, yeah. Um, is there anything else I want to say? So I am finishing up my books. Look forward to an announcement for the release date of my first book, Assassin of the Cross. Keep a lookout for my second book, From B-List to A-List, The Evolution of the Genre Picture. Uh, if you've stayed this long, thank you so much for listening to me blather and stumble through this. I am I am back. So yes, I have hours upon hours of video I have shot, actually. I just need to edit it all together. I have lots of videos I can upload now, and I am going to try to get back to work. To all my subscribers, thank you for still being so patient with me. To the other subscribers, if I've lost any, um, sorry about that. Like, I was going through sort of a conniption fit mentally. Not much I can do about that, but hopefully you'll see this and maybe you'll want to resubscribe. I don't know. Sometimes I make, sometimes I take months-long breaks from YouTube and the internet in general, and I think it does me good mentally. Honestly, I think a lot of people should probably disconnect from the internet more, but you know, sometimes you just gotta plug back in. Uh, yeah. So, if I can just say, if you could please subscribe to Lindsay at Rogueways. Um, Also, subscribe to me, like, comment, ask me any questions. I'll try and get back to you a bit more. Um, yeah, so this has been a 27-minute live stream. Uh, I will see you guys later. Peace.